The Chicago Bears have been close to winning the last couple of games. While wins have eluded them, the Bears are hoping for a better change of fate when they take on the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving Day. On today's episode, we're going to talk about some of the keys in that game against the Detroit Lions and dive into the mailbag. We're going to get into all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it for today, man. And the Bears have a big game coming up against the Detroit Lions tomorrow. And this is a game that listen, I'm not going to say it could ruin my holiday because at this point, I expect the Bears to have a bit of a struggle. But considering I'm holding down the channel solo tomorrow for the pregame show and the postgame show, I may do a halftime hangout in that because there's going to be no live call as the guys are handling with their family. I'll tell you this, the last thing I want to see is more Eberflus idiocracy on my TV screen while I'm trying to enjoy my Thanksgiving and eat and drink. That's the last thing that I want to do. So what are some of the things that the Bears have to key in on to get a win over this Detroit Lions team? And the first thing, execution. Not that I'm giving the offense a pass. We're going to talk a little bit about what the offense needs to do for sure to help put themselves in a position, but it comes down to execution. We have lacked. There's been big plays missed on defense and in special teams and even on offense as well over the last couple of games that have definitely impacted the Bears' chances of winning those games. The Bears have to be masters of execution against the Detroit Lions. The Lions aren't giving you anything. And if this Bears team and this defense has 3 quarters of being solid in third down defense, solid in red zone defense, but in the key drives you're giving up big plays or you're just having penalties or whatever else it is, you have to be masters of execution to get this win over the Detroit Lions tomorrow. That's just what it comes down to. You have to be on your P's and Q's. The Bears need to be masters of execution. That's what I want to see more than anything. Yes, we want to see sacks, and we'll get into that in a minute, but key in this defense, which has given up some really big plays and big third downs. You look at the third downs they gave up in the second half against that Vikings team, it's unacceptable. The Bears cannot do that against the Detroit Lions this week. You have to be masters of execution. You have to get them off the field. You have them in third and long situations. Take advantage of those and stop giving up big plays in those areas and scenarios. And yes, I'm looking at you, secondary. We know you're without Jaquan Brisker. That's a big problem here. But Jalen Johnson, you have to be better. Tyreek Stevenson, you have to be better. We need these players to be much better in their execution to help eliminate some of the harebrained mistakes that we've made. It's already bad enough. We got to overcome the Matt Eberflus being an idiot. We just got to overcome him and his pussy-ass play calling. We cannot do that if we're not executing like a team. Then on top of that, I'm not somebody who judge Montez Sweat just based off if he's getting sacks or not. I'm not doing that. That's not what it is. But we need more of it. We need Montez Sweat to get out of this rut that he's been in. And Eric Washington talked a little bit about that and said that, that Montez Sweat may need to reset and reestablish his fundamentals to get out of his rut. And that's what we need to see. We know that Montez Sweat is getting a huge number of double teams. We know that Montez Sweat is freeing one-on-one opportunities up for Javon Dexter and DeMarcus Walker and these guys. But we need that beast Montez Sweat. And I'm not saying, listen, he's still been playing a great season. When you look at his pressure rate and all that, he's having a really good season in that, and it's actually better than most of his career numbers. But in this game against the Lions, we need that beast of a Montez Sweat. We need to beat Jared Goff the fuck up. And I know I said that last week as well, but that's what it still comes down to. Can we beat people the hell up? And Montez Sweat is a big reason of why we're going to be able to do that. And overall, this defense, too, you cannot allow that double-headed monster at running back that they have, that the Detroit Lions have, to run all up and down you. You cannot do that. If you do, you are going to be utterly destroyed by what this Detroit Lions team can do. What are they calling themselves? Sonic and Knuckles? David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs? You got to be prepared for that, because if Sonic and Knuckles come in here and try to beat you the hell up, it's just going to it's going to throw off the whole game plan. I'm not saying that we need to completely stuff the run and stop them from having a solid run game, but I tell you what, you need to be prepared for what they're going to do. And so overall, when you look at it, the Lions are coming into this game. They're 10-0 in regular season games in which both Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery have scored touchdowns. You cannot allow that at all. So, when it comes down to it, they haven't had a lot of games where they both have, I think there's only one this season where they both have had 100 yards rushing. But best believe they're coming into this game against the Chicago Bears and knowing what our run defense is, and they're ready to get it done. The Bears are one of the bottom 12 teams when it comes to rush yards allowed per game. And we just got to get it. We got to get it together there. We got to get it together. Rush yards per game, rush yards per attempt. The Bears are towards the bottom of the league when it comes down to that. We cannot have and allow the Detroit Lions running game to get in that type of rhythm against us, especially early, because if it does, it's going to be an ugly game for the Chicago Bears and a game that can get away from them really quick, real fucking quick, to be quite frank with you. And if the game gets away from the Bears in that way, it's done. The genie's out of the bottle. It's not going back in. They're just going to beat us the fuck up. That's what's going to happen. And so the Bears have to be prepared on that defensive side of the ball for what the Lions are going to do. And like I said, you cannot overlook Jared Goff either. He's having a great season this year. Some people would say that Goff is putting up maybe a MVP caliber season when it comes down to it. 20 total touchdowns, fifth most in the NFL when it comes down to it. He has 6 games in which he's thrown for 250 passing yards or more, 2 games over 300, 1 game over 400 yards. You do not want to allow Jared Goff to get in rhythm against you, because if that pass game and that run game gets in rhythm, there's no stopping this Detroit Lions team. And this is why they're the best team in the division right now, right? And so you got to be prepared for that. And if the Bears come in here with a soggy ass game plan, again, you already know how I felt. If the Bears lose this game, it's time for a Black Monday for Matt Eberflus. Will it happen? Probably not. But they're 10-1 on the season. Not to say that it changes very much on how the outlook that we have on this 4-7 season so far, but this would be a feel-good win to be able to get a win over the Detroit Lions and give them only their second loss on the season. Can the Bears do that? That's the question. And the offensive side of the ball, we have to keep executing. We cannot allow Caleb Williams to be sacked. One of the key things that we're seeing with this offense, and if you can limit us to 2 sacks or fewer, right? 3 or fewer, really, but if you can limit it to around 2 sacks, listen, that allows Caleb Williams to get comfortable. That allows us to get to work. So when you look at it right now, over the last 2 games the first 2 games under Thomas Brown, Caleb Williams has 570 passing yards, 571 to be exact, 103 rush yards, 2 total touchdowns, and 0 turnovers. We need Caleb Williams to be the leader of this offense yet again, but we're going to need this offense to run efficiently. So yes, the up-tempo offense that has worked for us is something that we're going to have to continue to do if we want to have any type of success, but we also are going to have to establish that run game. And not just with Caleb Williams breaking and scrambling. Yeah, the design runs are cool. I actually enjoy seeing some more design runs for Caleb Williams, but Caleb has a matchup here against Jared Goff that he's going to have to come in here and look like a quarterback, like the quarterback that he's looked like the last 2 weeks. And for what it's worth, when you look at the performance that Darnell Wright and Braxton Jones have had, now Braxton still makes some big mistakes out there. Make no mistake about it. And PFF grades aren't the end-all be-all. But when you look at some of the big plays that Braxton Jones has made, right, helping break for a big run for a touchdown a couple of games ago. Last week, he ranked out as the 18th highest graded offensive tackle in the game of football because he did make some key big plays. Now, he still made some mistakes. He still can't handle the bull rush. But him and Darnell Wright are really also playing some of their best football while the Bears have moved up to a more up-tempo offense because they have to hold their blocks. They don't have to hold their blocks as long. Then when you look at us breaking out for big plays in that run game, it allows them to get more creative as well. Darnell Wright, the 21st ranked tackle in the game of football among 75 tackles by PFF. So these guys are improving. And I think that we're seeing Thomas Brown and the impact he's overall having on this offense. And that's what we're going to need. We're going to need those guys to be adequate. That's what it comes down to. And that sucks that that's where the Bears seasons are, is that we're talking about a game that the Bears could possibly win coming down to, can they just play adequately? But that's what we need. That's where we are. That's the reality of it. Can you play adequately? If you can be adequate, then you have a chance to you put yourself in the best situation to win this game. I won't say they have a chance to win this. Any given Sunday, you always have a chance, but you put yourself in the best situation to do that. So we're going to need better performances from that offensive line. Limit the sacks as much as that we have the last couple of weeks. Let's be better at limiting the sacks. Allow Caleb Williams to make the quick decisions that he's make and put the ball in the hands of your playmakers. It was great to see Keenan Allen get as many targets as he did. It was great to see DJ Moore and Rome Odunze have the games that they had last game. But we also got to get the run game in there. We also got to get Cole Kmet involved a little bit more. And Thomas Brown has been way more, what's the word I've been using for him? Intentional about the way that he uses this offense and uses the weapons here. We're going to need more of that this week against the Detroit Lions. Can the Bears win this game? It's going to be difficult. I'm not going to come in here and act like it's like this thing where the Bears are just clearly, if they do these things, they can clearly win this game. I'm not going to say that. We're going to need big performances from our best players. That includes Caleb Williams, right? And the standard now that he's played at the last 2 weeks, that needs to be the standard that we hold him at the rest of the season. That needs to be, if he can match that bar or exceed it in every game left for the remaining 6 games of the season, the Bears are going to be in a position to be able to win games. It's not going to be enough just that alone to win games, but you need that play from Caleb. You need the play calling that we've seen from Thomas Brown. What Thomas Brown and I think the new renewed kind of just confidence that this offense has been playing with lately, it's tangible. You feel it, right? It's not anything that's just a given. Like you can feel that, and we just need better execution from the defense. If we have better execution from the defense on some of those 3rd and longs, situations that they lost out on, that they allowed them to convert last game, we will be in a much better position to win against the Vikings. And so the Bears have to limit the things that are controllable for them in this game against the Vikings. Is it going to be, in this game against the Lions, is it going to be easy? Hell no. The Lions are coming in here and they're going to try to kill us, rightfully so. The Lions right now are the kings of the division. They right now are the kings of the North. We're trying and hoping that we can get there at some point in the next decade, but they right now deserve to hold that crown. They deserve to have that confidence. And so overall, with the Bears, hey, we're in Detroit. We got to come. We're used to the cold. That doesn't matter anyway in that. We got to get it done. And if the Bears if they can get this win, just be an exciting win to be able to get. It doesn't really change the outlook of us making the playoffs. It doesn't really change the drama and the bullshit that we've gone through this season, but it does give us something that we can just look at and say, right, in our division. We need a divisional win. And, regardless of how I feel about Matt Eberflus or not, this isn't about him. This is about the team. This is about these players. It's about more than Matt Eberflus. Yes, I would love to see Matt Eberflus fired shortly after this game. But when it comes down to it, we need a win. And I'm not going to wish my team to lose just so somebody can get fired that should be fired any fucking way. Let's go out here and get – hell, you know what would make this a great week? Us to get the win and still see Matt Eberflus fired on Monday. That would feel great. But, overall, I'll settle for a win. Let's hope that the Chicago Bears team can do it. But we got 2 voicemails I want to get into today. This one's from the 708.
Yo, what's going on, fellas? First and foremost, I love you guys' show. Love the content. Love that beat, that intro. That is go hard, man. Get me motivated just to listen to you guys, man, and just get more to understand fire content and info from you guys and y'all thoughts about the beloved Chicago Bears. But I have a serious question. Thomas Brown has done an excellent job these past couple of games with Caleb Williams. He is looking like a bona fide superstar in the NFL. The Bears have them a quarterback. We finally got one. My question to you guys is this. How in the hell did we get it so wrong between Shane Waldron and Thomas Brown? How did the interview go between these two guys in order for Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus to say, hey, Shane Waldron is our guy, is our guy? How? Can somebody please, you, hey, Steve O, Kev, anybody, somebody, please explain to me how the interview process got so wrong. Thomas Brown looked like he is a leader of men, not leader, sorry about that, fellas, but a leader of men. Shane Waldron came off as meek and soft in his initial press conference. Thomas Brown comes off as super confident. I love his moxie and I love his bravado. And look at what the difference between Caleb with Shane and Caleb with Thomas Brown. What was Pose and Eberflus thinking when they decided to go with Waldron? It makes me question everything about Eberflus because Eberflus do gotta go. But I'm having serious doubts and questions about Ryan Pose. What do you guys think about it? God bless, God keep, and always bear down.
Yes, the job that Thomas Brown has done with Caleb Williams has just been great. Caleb Williams looks like a great quarterback under Thomas Brown. And that's what it comes when you have a new set of eyes, right? There are a lot of people when we fired Shane Waldron, understandably so, I'm not saying that they're crazy for feeling this way, that ask, well, what is this really going to change? And Thomas Brown through 2 weeks has adamantly answered that question as it changes because I'm smarter, I have more instinct, and I have a vision, right? Vision can really change some things. And holding players to a standard really changes some things. And I think the way that Thomas Brown carries himself in these press conferences and things, if that's how he's carrying himself in these practices and holding himself accountable and this team accountable in this, it's night and day. And the difference between Caleb with Shane and Caleb with Thomas Brown, it like I said, it's tangible. And that's what you wanted out of this. That's what everybody should have wanted out of this. Yeah, I didn't have the highest, but expectations for things to change in the way that they did, but they have. And a large part of that has to be placed on what Thomas Brown has brought here to this team. Now, as far as your doubt around Poles, listen, not every GM is going to have their shortcomings. Everyone is. And so I look at a lot of what Ryan Poles has done here and bringing some talent here, the way that he's drafted, he's done a solid job. But I tell you this, you can't keep getting the offensive line evaluation wrong. You can't keep being tied to a head coach like Matt Eberflus, and you can't keep making the decision wrong on coaching staff. So, yeah, Poles has definitely made decisions that there should be doubt around Poles. In no way am I saying that Poles is at this place where he's above any doubt or criticism. Hell no. Criticize this motherfucker because a lot of his decisions have also led, while some has definitely helped this team, like Caleb, was the right decision. Not signing Roquan Smith at that place where that team was the right decision. What he's brought in here at the linebacking core and paid this total linebacking core less than what Roquan is getting paid, yes, that was the right decision, despite some Bears fans saying that it's not. Getting Javon Dexter and Darnell Wright instead of just drafting Jalen Carter was the right decision because look at now Javon and Jalen. They're not that far off from each other on top of us getting an offensive lineman in Darnell Wright. So overall, Ryan Poles has made some really good decisions, but he's miscalculated on a lot as well. And I said it before. I had a whole title of the video. This what he does in this offseason with the offensive line and with the coaching decision, that could start the clock on Ryan Poles, and it probably should start the clock regardless. And then if it works, all right, the clock can stop. But there's going to be some very big questions in regards to who and what Ryan Poles is and how much he can really change this team if he can't get this shit together. So let's hope that he gets this shit together. All right, let's get into the next voicemail. This one's from Mike.
Yo, Haize, yo, what it do? It's your boy Mike calling from the South Side. And in this voicemail, I really want to focus on like the upper management of the Chicago Bears because, Matt Eberflus I guess it's a foregone conclusion that he's gone, but I'm not even so confident that we'll even get rid of him at the end of the season. I think we'll run it back with him again next year. And it goes higher than Ryan Poles. The person that I'm questioning, the person that I'm looking at is Kevin Warren. Like, where is Kevin Warren? Can somebody put an APB out on this man? Like, where has he been while this 5-game losing streak is going on? Like, because from what I'm hearing, Poles and Eberflus report to Kevin Warren and not to ownership, George McCaskey, which that would be a whole nother voicemail, me getting on George in Virginia. So I'm not even going to go off into that. But I'm going to just focus on Kevin Warren. Like, where are you? Like, what is your role in this team? Like, is he strictly focusing on the stadium? And, like, where are we going to build a stadium at? Like, instead of actually focusing on the on-field product that they're putting out there every week? Like, what is taking so long? I know we have this thing, the Bears have never fired a coach during the middle of the season. I don't care. Bro, you see how quickly the offense turned around after we fired Shane Waldron. Just imagine how much this team could turn around once we fire Matt Eberflus. But At this point, it's really no point in firing him. We might as well keep him because it really doesn't make a difference. Like, playoffs is out of the picture. Like, our season is all but over. Like, the only thing that matters at this point is the development of Caleb Williams, which I thought he had a great game last game, but he did take that horrible sack in the fourth quarter. He absolutely cannot do that if we're going to win games. But outside of that, I thought he played very, very well. But, yeah, man, like, I don't know what Kevin Warren is looking at. Like I would be having a talk with Ryan Poles, like, bro, we got to get this guy out of here. But, like I said, I'm not confident that we're going to get rid of Flus at the end of the season. I believe Flus will be back next year because that's just what the Bears do. Eberflus is, 14-31 as a coach. He's 0-18 in road games on Sundays. He's like 3-18 overall on the road as a coach. He's like 0-5 versus the Packers. Like his defense is falling apart. The offense looks better though, but the defense.
So Kevin Warren, as a CEO, Kevin Warren is not going to be involved in a lot of the day-to-day. Now, I have said before, and I've said on videos that I think that this may be an offseason where he does need to take a bigger hand in what happens in this offseason, even if it is just overseeing and just making that decision collaboratively with Ryan Poles and not just giving Ryan Poles kind of the full autonomy that he seems like he's had up until this point. And again, I say seems because we really don't know what goes on behind closed doors, right? We don't always know. Like, they were in 3 days of deliberation. We don't know exactly what went on in that 3 days of deliberation in the decision to keep Matt Eberflus this offseason. But overall, like Kevin Warren, we knew his focus was going to be the stadium. He, as the CEO, he has a lot more. That's why you put people in position to do their jobs, because it's not the job of Kevin Warren to be ingrained in every day of the day-to-day. It's his job to hire and have the right person there that he trusts to do the day-to-day, and then for that person to execute what their fucking job is, right? And so overall, but sometimes you do need to step down. Regardless of what your role is, you do need to, I don't mean step down like leave his position. I mean, come down and be like, all right, for these next 2 months, I'm in here with y'all. Let's make the decision on what the next head coach is. Let's make the decision on who and what type of person we want in here, and I want to be involved in that. And I agree with you. How quickly this offense turned around under Thomas Brown from Shane Waldron, the right coach could turn around this team in that time as well, because we got talent on this team. It's different if we didn't have talent. We have talent. And when you put people in the right situations and bring on the right mind that can bring all that talent together, you can really turn some things around quickly. And Thomas Brown has turned this offense around without changing the offensive line. Now imagine with having that vision with a better offensive line, or imagine what Thomas Brown would have done earlier in the season if he was the offensive coordinator to start at. And maybe Matt Eberflus would even be in a better position to keep his job, which is scary enough, right? So yeah, the right person can really turn some things around. And that's why the importance should be on getting the right guy to be the next Chicago Bears head coach. That is the important part here. Not the name or the money or whatever else it is. Like, yeah, if it takes that money to get you the right guy, then do that. But get the right guy, because the right guy is going to be the one that's going to be able to turn this around quicker. Not just a big name, not just any coach that has a revolutionary offensive mindset. The right guy for this situation, for this roster, to bring the right things out of this roster, can turn this thing around very quickly. But you got to get the right guy. And let's hope that the Bears can do that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following the show at Shy Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related, but that's thanks to you lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.